And the purpose of the meeting was basically to discuss one, the issue of fish traps in the Port Honduras Marine Reserve. Secondly, we looked at the special license for what we call the FSA site, Rise and Fall Bank, which is located in the Zapadilla Keys Marine Reserve. And then we look at some other factors such as the access to deep water fishing in the Zapadilla Keys Marine Reserve. So just let me give you a little rundown. When we start with the fish traps, one of the issues that we're currently facing right now is the issue of fish traps becoming more and more common and more commonly used within the Port Honduras Marine Reserve. And you know that the fish traps are viewed by many as very destructive fishing gear. And why is that? It's because of the design. In some cases, the design itself catches very, very small fishes, and then these small fishes are taken to the market and sold. So instead of these being put back in the water as a catch and release effort, no, they're taken at those small sizes, and then those are sold in the market. So what happens is that recently, the fishers that are using the long lines or the hand lines, these fishers now are complaining because their catches have been decreasing, while we have seen an unprecedented increase in the use of these fish pots. So the resolution yesterday was that the fish pot use within the Port Honduras Marine Reserve is going to be regulated. Each vessel is going to be allowed only 30 fish pots. And what that means is that these fish pots will have to be registered, properly registered, and there is a fee that is going to be charged for each fish pot that basically is registered to a vessel. So now what will happen is that a committee has been formed, and this consists of fishers from the respective stakeholder communities, and that committee will decide as to the actual conditions that will be forwarded to the Belize Fisheries Department. And based on that, then a new policy is going to be developed, and then this policy will actually become the law as it relates to fish pots and fish pots used within the protected area of the Port Honduras Marine Reserve. The second point dealt with the use of the FSA site, Rise and Fall Bank, and the Elbow area. The agreement on that was that only 10 fishers, or a maximum of 10 fishers, will be considered for a special license. And from among those 10 fishers, those 10 fishers will have to have a minimum of 10 years working in the area. And the selection of these 10 fishers will involve a committee also that will be established, and we have selected the members for this committee already. And this committee will vet the respective persons who will eventually be given a special license that will be approved by the Belize Fisheries Department. So that should be done by February of next year. Likewise, the fish pass issue should be resolved by the end of January next year. So these things are coming on stream very quickly. And thirdly is the issue of the use of the deep water fishery. If you study out the SI, which created the expansion of the Zapadilla Keys Marine Reserve, you will note that the reserve was actually expanded more than 7 times its original size. So the reserve before 2020 was only 38,000 acres. Today, that reserve is above 321,000 acres of seascape. What that means is that there are 4 different conservation zones, and one of them includes Conservation Zone 4, which encompasses the deep waters or the deep water fishery. And in that area, commercial fishing is prohibited. So the fishers do not really have access. So that was the condition that we spoke about at the meeting yesterday, whereby the fishers are trying to get some kind of traditional usage access. And likewise, the Fisheries Department was willing to compromise with them and told them through a committee again that you need to come up with a list of names, and we need to start looking at certain conditions that will be applicable to, in the future, consider a special license for that for the usage of Conservation Area Zone 4. Now this is on the table and nothing definitive it has been determined as yet.